And listen, so this is going to be 8 minutes of my thoughts. So listen, I just want to start this off by saying family is so fake sometimes. Like, we have our core family members who we love and we rock with, but the ones who we don't, it be a reason why. And it don't be linked to no jealousy. It don't be linked to no material things like, oh, you got this, I don't got this or whatever. Sometimes it really comes down to the human being. And it's just like, damn, like, we in a perfect world, we would think like, damn, like, I get along with all my family and everybody is cool, but I just have certain people, and I have this one cousin who I just keep coming up on, and it's like we just don't click no more. I don't know. I just see something very fake in them. I just can't. I cannot see it. And this person is very much in tune too with as far as like energies and stuff like that. So we just kind of avoid each other. But then it hits closer to home when you have that sibling rivalry, and it's just like, let me just say this, right? I didn't realize until I left outside of my home and started to like speak with other people to start to realize like many other people have sibling rivalry. And I don't understand what it stems from, especially like in my case with having all brothers. I don't understand where sibling rivalry stems from. And to me, it'd be feeling like low key jealousy. And it's like on some real shit, especially with the sibling that I'm having an issue with. Like, you doing better than me. Why do you feel any type of way about me? I haven't even lived in New York. Yo, next year makes 9 years that I haven't lived in New York. There's no need to be worried about me. There's no need to be worried about what I'm doing or whatever. You don't contribute to my lifestyle, my well-being or anything, and I don't contribute to yours. It's just messed up because I look at it and I'm like, damn, I lived in Houston for 9 years. Now, mind you, none of my brothers, well, one of my brothers, like he flew before, but my brothers don't fly. So I'm thinking like, damn, I've been in Houston for almost 10 years and none of my brothers, like one of my brothers is sick, but my other brother who's well, you've never came to Houston just to like, you know what I'm saying? So I look around and I realize that people do have issues within their family, sibling rivalry and shit like that. And maybe it's for different reasons why they have like these issues. But for mine, I just can't pinpoint it. And it's just like, you just have to chalk things up to sometimes that people don't like you. That's just what it really is. And I think that it hurts a little bit more. I'm going to tell you now and today, 2024, November 25th, it don't hurt me no more. Before, when I was younger, it would really bother me. It don't hurt me no more. I've been living and doing my thing and been like away from my family. One of the best things that I ever did was move away from New York to Houston. It was one of the best things I did, like real talk. I felt like that move, it grew me up. That move made me not depend on anybody anymore. Now, I told y'all, I done been through some things down here in Houston. Like when I was younger, I moved here. So I'm 41. So I moved here. So what, when I was like 33, 32 or whatever, right? Now, I've been through it all, having to worry about like, oh, how am I going to pay my rent, overspending money, doing things like that, like not having money for rent, charging it all to my credit card, maxing out my credit cards, messing up my credit. Now, I'm on the other side of that. It's 9 years later. So it's like, I'm doing better financially and, as far as like managing my money and everything. But I felt like moving here really grew me up because it's just like, I've always been the child to my mother. I don't like to stress her out and like try to ask her for money or anything. I'm telling you, if I got $200 for 2 weeks, we about to deal with it. We about to figure out what we going to do. We going to figure out what we going to cut back on. And that's back when I was like smoking and doing all of that too. You have to ration out your money. So let me tell you something that I have been through, like growing like through the growing pains. It'd be times I didn't have enough to pay my rent, and I would go to they have those payday loan places. I would go there. I would hit 3 payday loan places on one day and just get that money and then change the accounts. It might sound wrong, but I had to do what I had to do to survive, to make sure that I could pay my bills and do what, you know what I'm saying? So I've always been self-sufficient, even if it wasn't my money. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, and lesser than none, I just want to know how many of y'all have these sibling rivalry issues. And it don't, like, some of y'all issues may be a little deeper. I'm telling you, in my situation, it's not deep. We don't have no family trauma, no abuse or anything like that. It just really boils down to, like, you ever just felt like your sibling just don't like you. That's how I really feel. And I feel bad because one of my brothers, like, he's going through going through things medically, and I really feel like he was the one that was really like more family oriented, like, would do things and, just do a little bit more. But you can't listen. It just is what it is. These people, and the thing about it is, people are who they are. They will never change. Who they've been is typically who they were your whole life, whether they're selfish, whether they're judgmental, regardless of how they feel, right? It's just sad. And then it comes into the whole holiday time. And it really just, I think that this is the time of year where you really start to think about it. And you just like, damn, like, whether you got a good family or you got a bad family. Now, listen, I'm so happy and I'm blessed the way that I grew up. Like, I had a strong family unit. Like, my mom, she was good. She worked my whole life. She was working at GE for 10 years before I was even born. Even though she struggled, I grew up in a house. Like, I don't have any type of like hard stories. Of course, like people had hard times they feel, with having money and stuff like that. But I don't have any type of trauma, related stories. But as far as like, anything outside of like just the basic struggle, my father, he was there. He didn't live with us, but I knew who he was, have several memories of calling him and him coming around or whatever. Things got a little estranged once I got a little older and he moved like out of the area, but it is what it is. But I just want to know, like, how many of y'all are facing these issues? And I just also want to tell you, like, keep pushing on. I know that it might hurt. Like, yo, I'm going to be open and frank with you. Maybe about years, it was probably like, this is the only time that I had a panic attack. I swear to you, right? I remember my brothers, they was going to this family event. It was like a cookout and they never told me about it. And I don't know if it was intentional or non-intentional, but they didn't tell me and I felt like it was intentional, right? So I do my own thing. So they didn't tell me about it. It was on my father's side of the family. Now, I veer more to my mother's side of the family. Just to be honest, I just felt like I had more in common with them. And my father's side of the family is ghetto as hell. And I just don't relate to it at all. Let's just be blunt and frank. We have no reason to lie. So they didn't tell me about it. And my brothers would be like, oh, you're not of, whatever the last name is. You're not one of us. You're one. Listen, family goes across the board and I'm not into connecting people listen, we connect with who we connect with. But anyway, I remember when they didn't invite me, I felt so crushed. And I remember I was in a grocery store and I was so upset and I had a panic attack. Real talk, they had to call like the paramedics just to like, oh, you just had a panic attack. Like, I was just, I felt like I was drowning and I was just so upset. And I've never had one of those again. From that moment right there, I've learned not to give a fuck no more. I promise you, I just don't. And that's the mission that was the point where I fully was just on my mission and it was all about me and it was all about, I had to learn how to protect myself and I really realized in that moment, that was like years ago. That was like before I even moved to Houston. So yeah, man, I just want to tell you, keep pushing, regardless if you having family drama, if you have family trauma, one thing you have to realize, and I want you to get over this, like what happened in the past is not happening now. So many times we serve the past and that's actually a symptom of being depressed. Say that you went through something when you was younger, right? Okay, go through your therapy, get your therapy. Make sure that you heal from it fully. And like, healing is a continual process. It's not just you go to therapy for 2 sessions and then it's just over. Healing is a continual thing. But one thing I need you to do to take that anxiety away from yourself, realize that you're in the blessing now. Make sure that you're taking steps to, to just understand that you're not there anymore, because sometimes we'll get so lost and so trapped on old feelings and old emotions that you can't change. And you just getting it's almost like a PTSD. Like when I was at school, when I was younger, my fingers got shut in the door. And when I still think about it now, it gives me the chills, right? Anyway, make sure that you're taking the steps to make sure that take care of you. And if you are still mimicking some of those behaviors, make sure you don't perpetuate that. Listen, your boy LaRon, Potent Pondering, I'm up out of here.